Yeah, always wanted to share this, but I mean, how could I? So I guess today is an opportunity for me to share it. I'm still telling myself if I'm ready. If I'm ready to tell this story of me that I haven't shared with anyone. But before I start, I would want to tell you that my brain works differently now. So you're thinking of using what I'm sharing against me sometime in future to throw me, to insult me, or to abuse me, like I've seen people do it. I think there was a point I had an issue with a client of lately and then insulted me and told me, that's why your wife left you. I was like, are you kidding me? Because he knew I was the first. You're not using it against me. I've used a tough one around it anyway. Don't let things get to me that much anymore. Okay, this is it. Pain and failure. In as much as it's hurtful, it's the biggest teacher. There was this post Elon Musk made yesterday where he said he never got help from his father. And I've seen lots of, self-made billionaires who made it um without help, without an aid, without a handout, and figured out they actually sustain their wealth more than people who had happy homes, than people who had a good family support. That's because people who had a good family support and all that, they're already used to having things nice. So if when the money comes in nicely, they're helping everybody, they're being there for everyone. Maybe they created one beautiful startup that went viral. Maybe they created one business model that were good and they just become stars and billionaires or get wealthy. You notice after a while they fall down. Or even if they don't, maybe when they now have newer generations who probably doesn't really know how they struggle to get there. You see that after a while the whole wealth and everything goes. But hardship is not really still what makes you wealthy. I mean, if that was the case, everybody going through pain and going through a whole lot, you'd be rich, right? Well, no. This is what I'm driving at. When you're able to see past your pain, you become extremely strong and undefeated. You become so powerful that nothing can actually bring you down if you want to focus on something. So the problem with why people who are going through pains or who have been through series of failure are not really living successfully, right? Because you could actually bring that up. It's because of the decision of what to focus on that they choose. So I'm going to use my own life story as an example. I'm not going to say I've gone far in life. I think I'm basically still trying to find my path. But this is a little bit of me. Came from a family where both parents were clergies. By clergies, I mean religious people. And while growing up, my title then, both parents were clergies, were pastors. So everyone gave me that nickname, Pastor Daniel. Now, coming up, I can't really tell you I really felt what real care and love was. Because I know when I was really of age, or when I got to a knowledgeable stage of my life, um, I didn't really feel what real love was because it was lots and lots of, you know, turbulence, tornadoes, and roller coasters. But before I go into that, let me head back first of all to what I was saying. Um, what you choose to focus on defines if you're going to be successful. And success is actually a very vast word. I mean, basically, most people feel success is just money, right? So when they try to see how successful you are, they want to first look at your car. Oh, does he drive a nice car? Does he have a big fancy house? How much does he have in his account? What phone does he use? How does he dress? That's people's perception of what success looks like, in this modern generation. But realistically, success is just you being able to get done with what you put your mind on against all odds. So if you're a plumber and you are the best plumber in town, you're successful. If you're a mechanic and you're able to help people drive cars in good condition despite how bad the car was, you're successful. If you're a doctor, even in the village hospital where there's no electricity and you've saved lots of life, you're successful. You mustn't really drive a fancy SUV or a fancy sports car in order for anyone to, tell you you're successful. Um, every single thing came in with, or every single successor came in with a struggle. Have you seen an egg get to a point where an egg has to hatch? But for that egg to hatch, the bird inside the egg has to break through the shell, or a butterfly, breaking through its cocoon. Imagine a bird in an egg, so scared of struggles, of obstacles, of pushing through, of going through any form of pain, decides to just have it nicely inside the egg. Now you get the point. It would be there all along. Then what happens when you break the shell of the egg and the bird wasn't the one that struggled? That bird would never be strong in life. Each time you face challenges, I wouldn't want you to see it as the end of the world. I know it's easier said than done, but I would want you to see it as you breaking through a cocoon for the next stage. Reading the story of lots of successful, I figured out that they had focused on something they believed they could get good at. And each pain each of them went through, they drived towards getting what they hope to achieve. So a good athlete has always walked on the field, trained himself, work at the gym. Like a good actor would always want to practice a whole lot of scenes. Basically, every single one of them had to focus on something they liked, and then they all had most times unfair upbringing, and you see they were the best in what they did. So the difference between them and the other people who really went through the pain and all, it's that sometimes I've figured it's as well that most people who are really not doing well in their life were people who were practically addicted to sympathy, addicted to hope of the unknown. That is why somehow I'm really, really very happy I'm an atheist, because it helps me really understand that every single life decision I make affects me, right? And if I'm in a position I'm not, like if I'm in a position I don't like, I know precisely I don't have to look up, to one imaginary friend in the sky. I practically have to look myself in the mirror and say, what do I do about this? And so I figured out that people who really